Hi everyone. Just going to give it till 2 minutes past 12 just to give people some time to make sure we get into the meeting and then we'll kick off. 30 seconds, guys. So we'll kick off. So welcome to Linear's EPC webinar. So this is day 2. So we held the first one yesterday. Just like to thank everyone for attending, taking time out of your day. So I'm Daz. So I will be hosting today's webinar alongside some other colleagues, which I'll present to you shortly. We have a 1-hour slot for this webinar, but based on previous webinars, I'd expect it to be around 45 minutes, pending Q&A session at the end. So to get started, I know you've all opened the Teams and you've seen the main screen. So we have some house rules we want to go through. So firstly, the session will be recorded. Secondly, you'll be muted throughout the webinar, but we will have an open Q&A session and we can unmute anyone at the time who wants to answer a question. Please use the raise gesture to participate in the Q&A session. I'll show you how to do that later. Please be respectful throughout the session, use appropriate conduct, and throughout the session as well, we have the live chat function, and Josh will be looking after the chat function, so please ask questions throughout the webinar if you have any. So, just give you a bit of a background on the speakers and the background at Linear. So I'm Daz, so I'm the Design and Fabrications Director. I've worked at Linear for 18 years and I've had previous roles in operations, production, technical and design. We also have the birthday boy, so Tom Roberts. So Tom's birthday today. So Tom's worked in design for the past 10 years and he's now the design manager. We have Will Huntley. So Will is a CGI creator. Will served at Linear for 7 years and Will's worked within design development, recently progressing over to a CGI focused role. And then we also have Josh Wong. So Josh is Linear's BFRC simulator. Josh has served at the company for 2.5 years. And if anyone wants to get this over the line, it's Josh, because it's going to help him considerably. So in terms of the agenda, so Tom's going to give a bit of a background on Energy Performance Simplified. We're going to have a bit of a recap on the current WER database. We're then going to introduce the new EPC. Will's going to do a bit then on Linear Connect and the Vault. We're then going to open for a 10-minute Q&A session. Then we're going to close out. And as I've discussed throughout the webinar, if you do have any questions, please use the chat function in Teams. It's located at the top left, the chat function, and you can type your questions away and we'll answer throughout the webinar. So I'm going to pass over to Tom and he's going to cover Energy Performance Simplified.
Right, thanks for that, Daz. Thanks for the introduction and the birthday wishes there. So, as Daz said, I'm Tom Mackenzie Roberts. I'm the design manager here at Linear. The first thing we're going to do is go through an overview of energy performance for windows and doors. So apologies for anybody who's really well clued up on this, but just a bit of a refresher for you. So the first thing we'll look at is approved document L, which is conservation of fuel and power. So on here, this specifies the U values and the energy ratings required for existing and for new build dwellings. So we'll start off with existing. So across the board, it's a 1.4 U value, and these are limiting values. So this is a worst case that they need to be. So with energy ratings on windows, it needs to be a B rating or better. For doors with greater than 60% of internal face glazed, it's a C or a B in Scotland. And then for doors with less than 60% of internal face glazed, it's a B. On new builds, it's a 1.6 across the board in England. And then in Wales, Scotland, and Ireland, it's a 1.4. Oh, sorry. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to go through is approved document O for overheating. So this generally relates to for G values. So these are assessed to control the amount of solar heat gain or the heat from the sun. And these are new. This is for new build only. Some technical difficulties there. So the requirements are driven by the SAP calculations when it comes to G values for those, and that's done on a job-to-job basis. So the other part of building regulations that's relevant is Part Q, and that's because Part Q specifies that 6.8 mil laminate glass is required in all easily accessible windows and doors, which is currently on new build. And where this is important, because laminate glass will affect the U value, and that can be either way, good or bad, depending on the type of glass that's specified. So I'm going to go through some key terminology for you next, which is first up being U values. So U value measures the thermal transmittance, or how well a window or door insulates, which indicates how much heat can pass through it. Lower U values mean better thermal performance and energy efficiency. So next is G values. There seems to be a bit of a delay on this, apologies. So the G value indicates the amount of solar heat gain or heat from the sun that passes through a window or door. They're required to calculate energy ratings, but not U values. So the higher the G value equals more solar heat gain. So a higher G value will give you a better energy rating, but what it'll also do is give you a worse U value, typically. The next thing I'm going to cover is energy ratings. So with energy rating, so WER or window energy rating indicates how energy efficient a window is. These ratings are determined by factors like heat loss, air leakage, thermal performance, so that's your U values, and solar heat gain. The most efficient windows receive an A++ rating, with the worst case being an E rating, and that's similar to your fridges, freezers, those kind of household appliances, a similar kind of rating sort of system. And these are approved schemes by bodies like the BFRC and ERC as well. So the next thing we're going to cover is something some of you may not be aware of, which is within approved document L. So the part L is a 25% rule. So essentially what this is that simulations are calculated at the moment, typically with standard GGF sizes and style windows. So that's the process that Josh, our simulator, follows every time he creates a simulation. So the GGF specify these typical sizes and styles to which they're calculated. The 25% rule allows simulations to be created with a 25% increase in the window size. In a casement, as an example there, it becomes 25% wider. This results in a better U value as the glass area is increased, the glass being the biggest contributor in terms of the U value. And this is just for U values only. So if you're using that method to get your energy performance, it can't be used for energy ratings. So what we've also created is this energy performance handbook, just to help everybody out with this a little bit and explain it a bit further and deeper. What we've also covered in here is, so we've got things I've already covered there in terms of regulations, that key terminology about U values, G values, energy ratings. The other areas that we've covered within there are things like glazing. So the make of a glass unit in terms of glass thickness and spacer bars and how they work, showing typical glass arrangements that are within our energy performance calculator. We also have a section on glass. I can go back to that page. That was a good guess. So that what we tried to do here is give you a bit more of information on it in terms of how to choose the right glass specification for what you're trying to achieve in terms of your energy performance, for your U values, and your energy ratings. Similar kind of information for spacer bars as well on the next page. And what that will do is help you to make more informed decisions for your glazing specifications to get the results that you're after. So on that page there, if I can pause that one, let's come back. Apologies. So if you can see on this page here, this is detailed in the GGF sample sizes and styles. So this just gives you a bit of information on what they are depending on what product it is and how they're calculated. And then the rest of the pages within the manual are the specification sheets, which basically will give you the lowest U values for each product, the highest energy ratings, how to achieve those, as well as how to conform to Part L for both replacement and for a new build as well. Right, and these are all available on Linear Connect for the Vault, and also they'll be going out in a launch pack as well for the energy performance calculator. Right, so apologies for all the technical details there, but I'll pass you back over to Daz.
Cheers, Tom. So what we're going to do first, we're going to recap now on the current method. So this is a current method available for all our customers on how to search for U values and energy ratings of our products. So we have a WER database available on the website. That consists of around 4,600 simulations, which has been built up from over 10 years worth of work. Each one of them you can filter by product, by type, by glass, by spacer bar, whatever you want to do to build up your window. What you can do is you can select your version, you can download a PDF, and that is fully BFRC approved. And these currently in the system are all based on actual simulations that Josh has been doing. So the current downfalls with that method is time. So it currently takes us around 1 to 2 hours to complete one simulation. So you can imagine with the amount of simulations we've done, we've got over a year's worth of work. So it's very difficult for us to keep up simulations up to date, and we have no time for BFRC simulators to do proactive work. Accuracy, so it's a very manual process and it's prone to human error. It's very difficult to maintain as we have to update due to endless options as glass and spacer bars change spec. It's not automated. We need to automate it because demand is increasing, and we also only show windows and no doors. And finally, it's very labour intensive, and we believe it's delaying opportunities for both Linear and our customers. So introducing the new Linear EPC. So this is a real-time linear energy performance calculator. So based on all the negatives, the positives we've created now is time. So what we can do now is you can now do a report within less than a minute, all automated, fully automated through our Linear Connect system. Any old sims can be automatically renewed when required. All the data in the back of the engine can be updated quickly. So whenever we get any kind of update from a glass supplier or a spacer bar supplier, we can change the value in the back end and everything gets updated automatically. We can free up time now for proactive design work, which is very beneficial for Linear, and we can also create instant reports. Again, in terms of accuracy, so no human error as long as we're updating the back-end data. We've created it alongside BFRC simulators and our internal IT team. We've done significant testing and benchmarking against the current method, and we are now fully BFRC approved. It's designed real time, so everything's driven by dynamic data. It's like I've gone through, but it's very easy to maintain. And the best part really for us is we can now add new systems. So when we launch new products, we can add a new system into the energy performance calculator. And once that's in, once it's implemented as a one-off, you guys will get access to them new products. In terms of automation, so it's going to be available through Linear Connect, linking to all Linear customers, and then you'll then get your own account. So every customer will have their own unique database where you can store your own simulations for whatever products you want to fabricate. Very simple step by step, which I'll go through shortly as we do a demo. Will include both windows and doors. As Tom's discussed, we will show U values, energy ratings, and also the option to use the 25% rule. And again, no waiting time. So we're currently on a 4 to 5 working day lead time for an energy rating or U value report. That is now an instant tool that you guys can use. And then again, we believe it's creating opportunity for both ourselves and yourselves. It allows more proactive time. And the other side is we believe you guys can now experiment with the systems and work quickly to get the result you're after by changing and chopping different things around with the system. So to give you a bit of a demo of how all that works, I'll show you the process of how you access the new energy performance calculator, which now is live on all your accounts. So when you go onto your Linear Connect, this will be live and switched on as we speak. So if you go onto the main website, you go into trade login, top right, and then you follow through login to Linear Connect. From there, you'll obviously log in through the tab on the left, and then you're presented with the home screen for Linear Connect. You then locate up to the tool section. So on the tools, you'll have access to the energy performance calculator. You follow that, and then you'll be presented with your personalized database. So within this database, you will have all your existing simulations that you've done for your company. What we have done is we've populated it with a small amount of most common windows and doors with the best U values and energy ratings you can achieve. And as you go through this, you'll have different ratings you've done over time. So to use the system, you'll click New Calculation at the top left. Put your reference in. So we call this one Webinar 2. You're then presented with the selection of products. So there's windows, doors we're currently working on, so we're looking to launch that later. So when you click doors, you'll get the error message of, sorry, the option you've chosen is not yet available, but we will switch it on and relaunch that when we're ready. So you select window, click next step, and then you're presented with a carousel of linear windows. So within here are 9 different systems. So we have the 70mm casement system, 70mm tilt and turn, 70mm flush sash casement. We have the 80mm resurgence, the 70mm reversible, and then we have all the 4 090 products, which is 090 casement, tilt and turn, and then also the rebated 090. So you select a window. You're then presented with the method. So as Tom discussed, you have the option of doing a standard calculation or a 25% rule calculation. Just a reminder that Tom picked up on is if you go down the route of the 25% rule, you cannot use that for energy ratings. So I'll demo a standard and then I'll demo a 25% rule so you see the difference in report. So we click standard. You then select what suite you're using. So we'll go Energy Plus. Then you can choose whether you want to use a small or large frame. If you select large frame, you'll skip straight through to your mullion. However, if you select small, it will give you the option of whether you want to vent. So because Part F being more prevalent now, you can have the option to put the large head to put trickle vents for your frame. So that is an option as well. So we'll click yes on that. Then you select your mullion. Then you'll choose your reinforcing, either the LTR, linear thermal reinforcement, or the steel. You've then got glazing flipper options, yes or no, and then also the thermal dam. And these options will change throughout the process depending on what system you're using. So for instance, on the 090, you'll be given a further option for the glazing flipper, the thermal flipper we call it. So you click next, then you're presented with the glass options. So we're using 70mm casement, so you have 28, 36 or 40. So we'll click 36mm triple. And then your final part of the calculation is then speccing your glass. So within each of these, you have a little tab that shows you some more information. So for example, for the external pane, we've just put a bit of a comment in there that the most popular version of glass for the external pane is float. So we'll go for a 6.8 lam. We'll go for a float glass. We'll keep that as argon. We'll keep the internal pane as 4mm. We'll select K Glass S, and then we'll select an EdgeTech Superspacer Premium spacer bar. And you click next, and then that is your calculation done instantly for you. So this is a summary report. So this gives you a summary overall of what the value is. And then to get the actual detailed report, you'll click download PDF at the top right. Once you click that, you then get a full BFRC approved documentation, which gives you all the details of what you've just calculated. So I'll give you a bit of detail on what's on there. So it will show you the date. The customer will automatically link to the linear connector account you logged into, your references we've inputted, and then all the other report information on the right-hand side. It'll go through the details of what we've added in. And then come down to the bottom, it gives you all your details. So the U value, your energy index and rating, the G value of the glass only, and the G window. And then it also gives you a bit more detail if you are using Georgian bars, because when you are using Georgian bars, depending on the method, the values do change. So you can see the U value there going from a 1 down to a 1.4 if you're using the glazing bar. Following that, then on the second page, you then have a breakdown of a window. So you'll have all the different cross sections of a window identified by what the numbers, and then you'll have a reference to that. And then what we've done then is we've automated the CAD as well. So each one of these, so 1 to 7, will then be linked through these references here to the actual CAD spec as well of that window. So this one will be showing a large frame for the head because we chose a trickle vent in the head. You'll then have your small frame. You'll have your sash and your mullion. And you'll also have your large frame sash, small frame sash. So that is a full report then showing the exact makeup of what you're using with everything you've spec'd throughout the report. And then the final bit of detail is the detail of the actual report and all the numbers used to generate that rating. So that is a standard calculation. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you a 25% rule. So you click return to home. Within here, then you'll see the one we've just done. So you see webinar 2 there. So that's already documented into your database. So we'll do another new one. So we'll call this one webinar 2 test. Click next. Then we'll do the same route. So we'll go window. We'll do a bigger window this time. So we'll do a 0-90 tilt and turn. This time we're going to select 25% rule. 25% rule will be for U value only. We'll go small frame. We'll go small head. Put the thermal flipper in, and then we'll pick the biggest units, 56mm triple glazing. We'll then go for 4mm external. We'll do a low iron. We'll do a float. Any kind of glass. Pick a different spacer bar this time. So set G. Click next step, and again, calculation complete. And the main difference this time, guys, as you'll see, is because it's a 25% rule calculation, the energy index and band rating is completely overwritten with the details of why, because it is using the Part L 25% rule. So again, shows you U value of 0.75, and then you click again, download PDF, and then that will show up again, but different, because obviously this is now using 0.90, and it'll also mention there that because it's using the 25% rule, your window size is increased in width. Again, full details, energy rating and banding has been overwritten, and then it'll have within this document then all the CAD for the 0.90 spec you've just chosen. So that's a bit of an overview of the new energy performance calculator. I'm not going to do any more demos. We'll pick up that. We've got some launch packs going out later today, which will give you a bit more insight onto that. So in terms of future development, which we touched on, we're currently developing doors. So we're currently developing that internally. So it'll be the exact same method, but we'll have different options. So we'll have residential doors, French doors, patio doors, and bifold doors. Then the difference is we'll have glass, but also the option to have a panel in the lower half, which we're currently working on. So that's in development as we speak. And then just some more info in terms of more information to help you use the energy performance calculator. I'm just going to pass you over to Will, and Will's going to give you a bit of a demo of the Volt.
Yeah, thank you, Daz. So hi everyone. I'm Will, the CGI creator at Linear. Worked here now for 7 years. So what I basically do is I create all the computer-generated images, animations, and I assist with all the generic marketing material for the company. So I want to take this opportunity to remind everyone what the Vault is. It's within Linear Connect. So let me just take control. Thank you, Daz. So if I click on this. Go. So same as before. So Linear homepage, trade login, top right, and then to Linear Connect. And then login as normal. So in the exact same location as before. So it's in Tools, and then it's the Vault here, which is just above the EPC. And that will take you to this page. So this is basically where you can access everything to do with Linear. There's a lot more on here than there is that's on the resources section of the website, and this is only for our customers, so you guys. So as you can see on this carousel here, you've got window spaces, consumables, I believe that says cladding, soffits and fascias, outdoor, roof and door. So the EPC stuff obviously would be in window. Click on that. And then it will be available for casement, flush/Tilton and reversible. Bifold, it won't be on there because there isn't a bifold window for U values and thingy, and energy rating, sorry. So if I click on casement, and then I click on 90mm, for example, that's 0.90, and then it's under this section called energy performance. So you'll find it in there. You'll find it all in there. You will see specification sheets for each individual one. So I click on that. So this will come up more into this, what this is exactly. You'll see the handbook, as Daz previously mentioned. Click on that. You can just download that from here. Click on there, or you can download it from here as well. So if you just click on these little boxes here and then press download files, you'll be able to download it from there. There's also a how to use the EPC video, which is basically just a slightly longer version of what Daz has just gone through, explaining a bit more detail. So you can click on that video, you can download it, and it will also be sent to you on the launch pack. I believe that's it. If you don't have Linear Connect, of course, if you email connect@linear.co.uk, you will, as it says there, our IT team will set you up, and you'll be able to get access to the EPC of the Vault. I believe that's it from my side.
Yeah, thank you, Will. What I will show is I'll just give a bit more detail on the spec sheets quickly. So just 2 seconds, guys, because I think these are very valuable bits of information for you guys to be able to use the energy performance calculator. Oh, so I'm just going to open one of them up again. So trade login, connect. Oh, so we click on a casement spec sheet here. So as Tom's touched on, all 9 systems we have at Linear have a spec sheet now. And what this spec sheet is basically how you achieve the best U value or energy rating within that system. So you can use these bits of data here to plug into the EPC to actually get your calc using different options. So how to achieve a 0.81 U value, you can use these options, or how to achieve the best energy rating of A++. Then also on the second sheet, there's also a sheet that shows you how to comply with Part L regs. So what's the best way for you to get to 1.4 using the 70mm casement? Same with window energy rating B, and also a compliance for the 1.6 U value for new build. So this is done for all the 6 systems. And as Tom and Will have touched on, it's available in both a handbook at the back, or we have separate downloads available, which will be on the Vault, and we'll also be putting on the website shortly.
Just one more thing from me, Daz.
Yeah.
Right on the Vault, right at the start, before you go into the carousel, there's the what do you call it? The promoter section at the start. so you can access all of the documents there easily enough, and they'll be on
Yes.
there for a while. So
Yeah, thanks, Will. So what we're going to do now, so we're going to open up to a bit of a Q&A session. So we're going to run it for about 10 minutes. I see there's been quite a few questions through the chat function, but this is more of an open session. So if you want to ask a question, if you use the raise hand function that you can see there, if you click that, and then Josh, we're going to hand over to Josh, and Josh is going to answer some questions for you. So, like I say, if you've got a question, use the raise gesture, and then we'll open you up on off mute, and we can answer some questions.
Thank you, Des. Afternoon, everyone. The webinar was informative. I can see Rob Evans has a question to start off with, so we'll start with you, Rob. Currently got you unmuted. You just need to unmute your microphone on your end.
Well, there you go. Is that better?
Yep. Hi, Rob.
Yeah, how are we doing? You okay?
Yes, are you?
Yeah. Finally meet you at last, Josh. And my first thing is to apologise to you for, I can't help thinking that this is probably a lot to do with me bugging you all the time with all these
No, you're right.
calculations, because that's all I ever seem to do. But you must think, oh, it's not him again. So, no, firstly, that kit looks absolutely fantastic, and it's exactly what we needed, to be fair. You know, it seems fairly straightforward, and the detail you get, it looks phenomenal, to be fair. So I can't wait to jump on it and give it a go. So that's the first thing. But just something playing in the back of my mind that I'm worried about.
Yeah.
Have you any plans to develop it further for when the potential new SAP calcs come out, in terms of it won't be just the single size window, it potentially be going down to
you're talking about
the entire
for the new reg changes potentially.
Yeah, I mean, that's a real worry, you know, in the back of our mind.
Yes, no, we have thought about this and talked extensively about it. It is on the list of future development and what we do with it in the future. We've not forgotten about it. It is on the list. What we do with it in the future is still down to a discussion between the team at the minute.
Yeah. Okay. So all right. So it's something we're thinking about.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's a good question.
Just on it, Rob. It's something we're thinking about, but as you know, it's a massive subject. It's going to take every shape, style, variation of window and door, and it's going to be a big change for the industry. However, we're not saying it's a definite could be used for our system, but we have made sure that the system's been designed to have that option potentially in there. But again, until we hear the news and the dates when it's coming in, we at the moment we haven't done too much work on it, but it's something that's on our radar.
Yeah. All right. No, that's great. Thank you. But yeah, looking forward to
Rob.
using this. That's great.
Lovely. Thank you, Rob. Does anybody else have any questions potentially? If not, we do have a few questions that we prepared ourselves, just anyone potentially asking. So, for example, we have what happens if the glass spec I want isn't in the calculator? When you go through the process and you select your glass and all your systems and such, you'll get a prompt on your screen that will tell you to email design@linear.co.uk. From here, the design team, including myself, will organize the G value to be included in the calculator. But depending on the glass spec, that might take some time.
I think the benefit there as well, Josh, is you'll always get the U value.
Yes.
It's just the G value. We'd have to have over 10,000 different combinations to put into the EPC. So we've got probably 1,000, but we know that over time, as new glass comes out, you'll probably try and put one in, it won't be there, and you'll see an error, but we can quickly add them in. But the good thing is you can still get the U value. It's just the G value for the energy rating, which will hold that process up.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. I've had a few. We've had a few questions from yesterday. Potentially, do I have to be registered with the BFRC to use the calculator? You don't have to be registered to use the calculator. You will have to be registered with either BFRC or ER to have an approved report produced. And that document that is produced can be used as compliance for energy ratings. we also had interest in, or have had interest in, acoustics recently. So is the calculator able to calculate acoustics? Currently, no, but it is something we are thinking about for future development to include into the calculator. Another good question is, can one of my customers use this calculator? Now, this calculator is for linear customers only. So anybody who is a linear customer will have access to Linear Connect, and only customers will have access to Linear Connect to be able to use the calculator.
But we are just on the back of that one, Josh.
Yeah.
So because the current WER database is available for all on the Linear website, we're making sure that we're going to put the spec sheets on the website, so the customers can still, so architects, suppliers, and users can still use the spec sheets. But in terms of the detailed calculator, it is going to be only available for Linear customers with a Linear Connect login. Yeah.
And I know a lot of you might be eager to know when doors will be ready. Unfortunately, I can't give you a set date as of now, but we're hoping to launch it later on in the year. Currently, it's still going under development.
And it's in Josh's best interest to get it done, because as you can see, 1 to 2 hours to do that's probably a window. Doors is more like 2-3 hours, Josh. So
Yeah.
our best interest is to get that automated for you guys, and in particular Josh, because he will have no hair like me if he carries on.
I'm already halfway there, Daz. I don't know.
So I think
now,
so. Is there any? I'm just thinking. Is there any more questions? Oh, is it Rob Evans
just
got
got
his
one
hand
from
up
Rob.
again?
Yeah.
He's there again.
Over to you, Rob.
No, it's just a nice and simple one. Josh, are you the main point of contact for this, for any queries and inquiries moving forward? If we go away, and is it yourself?
Queries and inquiries, if they could be directed to the design email, so design@linear.co.uk. More than likely, I will be picking it up anyway. But if I am not around, for example, like if I'm on holiday or such, we do have our team who have been going under training and have been trained on certain parts of the energy performance calculator. So you will get an answer. Is the short.
That's fine, mate. Cool.
Yeah, no worries.
Right, thanks for that, Josh.
No worries.
So if we just close out now, so I'd just like to thank everyone for the time. Thanks for attending. I hope it was informative. So what's next? So what we'll be doing this afternoon, we'll be sending out a launch pack to all Linear customers. That launch pack will contain the Energy Performance Handbook. It'll have the spec sheets, how to use the EPC video, so a slowed down version of me showing how you can actually use the EPC. And that'll also all be available on the Vault. As we've discussed, if I skip back one, the EPC is now open and available for all. So please get logged in and please start playing around with it. Like Josh says, if you want to contact Design@Linear for any further assistance, we're here to support you through it. Or give reception a call and they'll direct through to ourselves. In any questions you've asked, in any questions that have been asked throughout the 2 webinar days, we're going to make sure they're circulated on the launch pack as well, so you can have a read through them. But unless there's any more questions, thank you for attending. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you all soon. Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.